The pain from kidney stones is known to be one of the most severe types of pain a person can experience. The characteristic severe, sharp pain, which can be as intense as giving birth, usually comes in waves as the stone moves along the urinary tract. The stone can take weeks or even months to pass. Worse still, a stone that is over 4 millimeters usually won't pass naturally. Don't worry, you can often prevent this situation by understanding what might cause these painful stones. You're more likely to get kidney stones if your urine has too much calcium, oxalate, or uric acid, if it doesn't have enough citrate, or if you're dehydrated. The good news is some common vitamins can help by lowering urine calcium and oxalate levels while boosting citrate levels. Number 1. Vitamin A. Human studies suggest that adults with kidney stones might have lower vitamin A levels. In a 2023 study published in the Journal of Urolithiasis, researchers used data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NANS, on adults who weren't taking supplements. Out of 9,777 people surveyed, nearly 10% had kidney stones. The study found that people with inadequate vitamin A intakes were 33% more likely to have kidney stones compared to those with enough vitamin A. Also, low vitamin A was linked with almost twice the risk of having recurrent stones. One good reason is that vitamin A might help lower oxalate levels, a main component of oxalate kidney stones. Normally, adult urinary oxalate levels should go no higher than 40 milligrams per day, with the optimal level being less than 25 milligrams. Having more than 45 milligrams of oxalate per day in the urine is considered hyperoxaluria. If your urine lacks citrate or becomes too acidic, low pH, this situation can create the perfect setting for stones to form. Studies also showed that lacking vitamin A can lower urinary citrate and pH, creating favorable conditions for more oxalate to enter the urine and form stones. Supplementation with high doses of vitamin A can reverse these conditions. 1 mcg of RA equals 1 microgram of retinol, 2 micrograms of supplemental beta-carotene, or 12 micrograms of dietary beta-carotene. According to the Food and Nutrition Board, FNB, adult men need 900 micrograms of RA each day, and women need 700 micrograms. But before looking at supplements, trying to get vitamin A from your food is a good idea. Beef liver is the top source of preformed vitamin A, giving you around 243% of the daily value, DV, in just 1 ounce. Fish liver oils, dairy products like butter, cheese, and milk, and egg yolk also contain vitamin A, but in lower quantities. The other form, provitamin A, is converted into active vitamin A by your body. It naturally occurs as carotenoids, such as beta-carotene, which you can get from bright yellow and orange vegetables like sweet potatoes, carrots, and pumpkins, and fruits like cantaloupes and mangoes. Dark green leafy vegetables are also a good source. Note that your body can absorb 75 to 100% of retinol, but only 10 to 30% of beta-carotene from foods. Cooking these foods can help your body absorb beta-carotene better. Patients with kidney stones may need to avoid certain green leafy and yellow-orange vegetables, such as spinach and rhubarb, because of their high oxalate content. So, choose your dietary ingredients carefully by considering their oxalate content. You can still opt for vitamin A sources that are low in oxalates, such as kale and broccoli. You'll find vitamin A supplements in different forms: retinol acetate, retinol palmitate, and beta-carotene. Your body absorbs 70 to 90% of retinol from supplements, but only 8.7 to 65% of beta-carotene. Since vitamin A is fat-soluble, it's best taken alongside meals or snacks that contain some fat to improve absorption. For the general population, the FNB also suggests avoiding supplementation of provitamin A or beta-carotene unless it is required to prevent a vitamin A deficiency. Patients with chronic kidney disease, CKD, unlike those with kidney stones, usually have high levels of vitamin A. This is because CKD affects the metabolism of vitamin A in the body, and as the kidneys weaken, they can't remove excess vitamin A from the body, causing this vitamin to build up. So, for people with CKD, supplementation is not recommended unless using parenteral nutrition for over 2 weeks or if there's a confirmed deficiency. It's always best to consult with your doctor before supplementing this vitamin. Number 2. Vitamin B6. Do you remember the 2023 study from the NANS data when we talked about vitamin A? In addition to vitamin A, this study found that inadequate intake of vitamin B6, or pyridoxine, was also linked to almost twice the risk of having recurrent kidney stones. Vitamin B6 was also shown to play an important role in controlling oxalate levels. Simply put, about 50 to 60% of oxalate comes from a compound called glyoxylate. In the liver, vitamin B6 helps convert glyoxylate to glycine, an important amino acid, instead of oxalate. Without sufficient vitamin B6 around, glyoxylate can turn into oxalate. That's why supplementing with vitamin B6 can help treat certain conditions related to kidney stones. There is an uncommon inherited disorder called primary hyperoxaluria, PH, in which a genetic mutation causes too much oxalate to be produced, triggering the development of kidney stones. There are 3 types, with type 1, called primary hyperoxaluria 1, PH1, being the most common, accounting for 90% of cases. PH1 is particularly severe and can lead to early kidney failure. Luckily, vitamin B6 supplements help about 30 to 50% of people with PH1. One study recorded urine oxalate levels to drop by over 30% after 6 months of treatment. It's important to note that only a small fraction of people with kidney stones have PH1, meaning that not many people will benefit from taking vitamin B6. In fact, no randomized controlled trials have successfully proved that vitamin B6 helps with kidney stones in people with hyperoxaluria from all causes. Some older, uncontrolled studies involving small numbers of patients with kidney stones suggest that taking 10 to 500 mg/day of vitamin B6 might reduce urinary oxalate and stone recurrence. However, some long-term, larger-scale studies did not find a clear link between vitamin B6 intake, doses of 200 to 300 mg/day, and the risk of kidney stones. People with PH1 will receive instructions from their kidney specialist as to the treatment in their case, where vitamin B6 is considered a medication, not just a supplement. It's smart to get tested for PH1 or vitamin B6 deficiency before taking supplements. People with autoimmune issues or late-stage kidney disease and those on dialysis or who drink a lot of alcohol might not have enough vitamin B6. It is important to talk with your doctor to find out if you need a supplement and the right dose for you. As far as the general recommended daily intake for vitamin B6, if you're between 19 and 50, you'll need 1.3 milligrams each day, according to the FNB. Men over 50 should aim for 1.7 milligrams, and women over 50 need 1.5 milligrams. Most multivitamins contain about 1.5 to 5 milligrams of vitamin B6. But before turning to supplements, vitamin B6 can be found in its natural form in many foods. Some of the best sources are chickpeas, fish, beef liver, potatoes, starchy veggies, and fruits, except citrus. Specifically, eating a cup of chickpeas or a standard 3-ounce portion of tuna or beef liver provides more than half of your daily vitamin B6 requirement. Vitamin B6 is also found in meat, yeast, legumes, nuts, avocados, and bananas. Getting too much vitamin B6 from food generally doesn't cause health problems. No side effects were reported when people took up to 500 milligrams per day. However, taking high doses of vitamin B6 supplements, 1 to 6 grams daily, for a long time could cause nerve damage called peripheral neuropathy. The recommended upper limit is 100 milligrams daily for adults. If you need to supplement this vitamin for health reasons like reducing oxalate, don't do so without guidance from a physician. Are you enjoying our video so far? If so, please give us some hints by dropping a like and we'll make more content like this. Number 3. Vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency is common among people who get kidney stones. Taking vitamin D can help your body absorb calcium from food, which helps prevent stones. The term calcium oxalate kidney stones has long led to a misconception that because most kidney stones contain calcium, eating more calcium causes them. But actually, research shows that getting enough calcium can help prevent kidney stones. The New England Journal of Medicine published a study in 2002 involving 120 men with recurring kidney stones. The researchers had these men follow 2 different diets, one group with low calcium, 400 milligrams per day, and another with normal calcium intake, 1,200 milligrams per day. The results were quite remarkable. The men assigned normal calcium intake carried 51% less stone recurrence risk over 5 years than those on the low-calcium diet. The low-calcium group also had more oxalate in their urine. Further studies have explored calcium binding to oxalate in the gut, making it difficult for the gut to absorb, and it is removed through feces. So, it's all about getting the proper balance. When you don't get enough calcium, more oxalate stays free in the gut and is absorbed into the blood, leading to high oxalate levels in the blood and, eventually, in the kidney and urine. However, people may worry that taking too much vitamin D or calcium or consuming too little oxalate could upset the balance. This might lead to more calcium being absorbed in the gut and then ending up in the urine. A 2016 review confirmed that long-term vitamin D supplements can increase calcium levels in urine. However, they also found that this increase doesn't raise the risk of kidney stones. This could be because vitamin D has a larger role in the body than just managing calcium levels. Like vitamin A, vitamin D boosts the immune system, which helps maintain a strong gut barrier and reduces oxalate absorption. Low vitamin D levels can increase inflammation, which might contribute to kidney stones. Adequate vitamin D intake is needed for those with any stage of kidney deficiency. Vitamin D supplementation should be personalized and based on your doctor's recommendations. So, how much vitamin D should one take? 1 microgram of vitamin D is equal to 40 IU. The UK suggests adults get 10 micrograms, 400 IU, of vitamin D daily. In the US, it's 15 micrograms, 600 IU, for adults under 70. Those over 70 need an increased intake of 800 IU, or 20 micrograms, daily. Vitamin D comes in 2 forms: D2, ergocalciferol, and D3, cholecalciferol. D3 may be better absorbed and stay in your body longer. Some new types of vitamin D can be even more beneficial. Extended-release calcifediol is a strong type of vitamin D that boosts your vitamin D levels more effectively without raising calcium or phosphorus levels, and this can be good for your kidneys. Maxicalcidyl, a newer form of vitamin D, is also less likely to cause high calcium levels. Other forms, like doxorcalciferol and paracalcitol, also show fewer side effects compared to the older forms of vitamin D. To make sure your body absorbs these supplements well, take them with food that contains fat. Research also shows that magnesium helps prevent kidney stones, and vitamin D helps magnesium get into the urine. So, a combination of vitamin D and magnesium might be considered in kidney stones. If you feel tired or have low energy, along with bone or muscle pain, it's a good idea to get your vitamin D levels checked. It also might be worth checking them once a year to prevent deficiency. In fact, it's not so hard to get enough vitamin D. Sunlight and small amounts from food sources can be enough for adults to meet requirements. Excellent dietary sources include fatty fish, fish liver oil, mushrooms, egg yolks, liver, and fortified milk. Eating a 3-ounce serving of trout or salmon can give you more than 70% of the recommended daily value. Most plants don't contain vitamin D, but maitake, portobello, and morel mushrooms do have significant amounts of D2. If you enjoy vitamin D-rich foods and get some sunlight regularly, you probably don't need supplemental vitamin D. Vitamin D intake was also linked to an increased risk of kidney stones in women taking calcium supplements, especially when taken without food or with low oxalate meals. However, some studies found that calcium levels can be higher with excess vitamin D intake, but this is not linked to increased risks of kidney stones. In general, the risk of excessive vitamin D in kidney stone formation is still a matter of debate. The FNB recommends that adults should not take more than 100 micrograms, 4,000 IU, of supplemental vitamin D per day. If you feel the need to take more, do so under your doctor's supervision. Number 4. Vitamin K2. Vitamin K deficiency is common in people with kidney failure and worsens with kidney disease progression. In one study, 50% of patients with CKD had functional vitamin K deficiency, which was linked to unwanted calcium deposits, calcification, vascular stiffness, kidney stones, and a higher risk of death. Taking vitamin D or calcium supplements, as we talked about earlier, if not managed carefully, may result in too much calcium. This can lead to unwanted calcification. Normal calcification occurs in bones and teeth, where calcium is used for strength and structure. But if there's too much calcium in the body, it might go to places it shouldn't, like your arteries or kidneys. In the arteries, calcification can cause arterial wall stiffness and heart disease, and when it accumulates in the kidneys, it can form kidney stones. The good news is, vitamin K2 can help direct calcium to your bones and joints, keeping your arteries and kidneys safe. Plus, vitamin K2 helps prevent calcium salts from forming crystals by activating the matrix GLA protein. This protein binds to and neutralizes excess calcium in the blood, helping to avoid calcium deposits. While some human studies suggest that vitamin K2 could help reduce the risk of kidney stones, the results are mixed. More research is needed to confirm how vitamin K2 plays a part in preventing kidney stones. There is insufficient data to establish a recommended daily value for vitamin K2. The FNB suggests that adult men need 120 micrograms of vitamin K daily and women need 90 micrograms. Most multivitamins include some vitamin K. For higher doses, you can find supplements with just vitamin K, typically providing 100 to 120 micrograms, or combined with calcium, magnesium, or vitamin D, and some of these can have up to 4,050 micrograms. The FNB didn't set a maximum limit for vitamin K because no adverse effects have been reported. Vitamin K2 supplements don't cause health problems, even at high doses, such as 15 milligrams 3 times a day. Consult your doctor about the need to limit this vitamin if you have any health problems. You can take vitamin K2 supplements with or without food, but taking it with a meal may improve absorption, as it is a fat-soluble vitamin. Regarding food sources, chicken breast, liver, beef, pork, dairy, and eggs provide a decent amount of vitamin K2. Natto, a Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans, is packed with vitamin K2. Just one 3-ounce serving gives you over 700% of your daily value. Other fermented foods like cheese and sour cream also contain vitamin K2, but the amount depends on how they're made. For those interested in the evidence, the studies supporting our claims are provided in the link in our description box. Number 5. Vitamin E. People with kidney stones often have lower levels of vitamin E in their blood. Also, many patients having stones have trouble absorbing fat. Since vitamin E is fat-soluble, supplementing with it might prevent a potential deficiency in these patients. Moreover, vitamin E is an important antioxidant that protects cells from damage caused by inflammation and oxidative stress. This type of damage is linked to various chronic diseases and kidney stones. Studies find that people with high antioxidant levels are 27 to 33% less likely to get kidney stones than those with lower levels. Animal studies also suggest that vitamin E may help prevent the formation of calcium oxalate kidney stones. Moreover, increased oxidative stress can damage or alter the proteins that normally protect against the development of kidney stones. Supplementing with antioxidants like vitamin E may help restore the function of these protective proteins and reduce oxidative damage. Most vitamin E supplements only include alpha-tocopherol. Natural alpha-tocopherol, labeled as D or D, comes in one form, while synthetic alpha-tocopherol, labeled as DL or DL, has 8 forms. Synthetic vitamin E is half as effective as the natural form. In other words, 1 milligram of natural D-alpha-tocopherol is equivalent to 2 milligrams of synthetic DL-alpha-tocopherol. Some supplements have a mix of forms other than alpha-tocopherol, such as gamma-tocopherol, tocotrienols, or mixed tocopherols. So far, alpha-tocopherol is the only type of vitamin E that's recognized to meet human needs. The FNB suggests that adults should get 15 milligrams of alpha-tocopherol daily. You need about 3 grams of fat to absorb vitamin E well. More fat won't make a big difference, but healthy unsaturated fats, like those from nuts, work better than saturated fats found in fatty meats. Daily multivitamins typically have about 13.5 milligrams of vitamin E, but vitamin E-only supplements can have 67 milligrams or more, which is much more than the daily requirement. Taking vitamin E supplements every day isn't usually advised because it can accumulate to toxic levels in the body. However, it's hard to establish exactly how much vitamin E is harmful because results vary. In human studies, vitamin E doses from 24 to 1,206 milligrams per day haven't shown adverse effects. Still, high doses of vitamin E supplements can cause bleeding and hemorrhagic stroke, severe bleeding in the brain. The FNB set the upper limit for vitamin E at 1,000 milligrams per day for adults. Note that if you have kidney problems, taking higher doses of vitamin E, 200 to 400 mg/day, for a short time might be helpful. Just be sure to do this with your doctor's guidance. Also, concerns about too much vitamin E are mostly about supplements, not food. Getting dangerously high doses of vitamin E from food alone is nearly impossible. So, instead of taking supplements, getting your vitamin E from a balanced diet is advised. Nuts, seeds, and vegetable oils are great sources of alpha-tocopherol. Some examples are wheat germ oil, sunflower oil, hazelnut oil, and nuts like almonds, hazelnuts, and peanuts. However, keep in mind that some nuts and seeds can be high in oxalate. You can also find vitamin E in green leafy vegetables and fortified cereals. Most people do not need to supplement a balanced diet. This simple fact is often overlooked in the pursuit of good health. If you are prone to kidney stones, discuss these issues with your doctor before taking any supplements. Taking certain vitamins in megadoses can actually be the culprit behind the development of kidney stones. One example is vitamin C, which can be converted into oxalate in the body, increasing the risk of kidney stones. Only in rare health situations, such as extreme dietary restrictions or malnutrition, is it necessary to take a vitamin C supplement. It's always a good idea to check with your doctor about alternatives. Unless your diet is particularly poor in this nutrient, try to get this vitamin from foods. Another concern is vitamin D, as we mentioned before. While the recommended doses of vitamin D do not increase the risk of stones, some people might have a higher risk due to certain genetic mutations. If you have high calcium levels in your urine, taking a vitamin D supplement might not be a good idea, especially in the summer when your body produces more of this vitamin. In this video, we've featured the 5 vitamins that can help prevent oxalate kidney stones: A, D, E, K2, and B6. Many people with kidney stones are low in these vitamins. Vitamins A and E work as antioxidants that help protect your kidney cells from oxidative stress. Vitamin B6 can help lower oxalate production for people with a rare genetic condition. Vitamins D and K2 are great for managing calcium levels. However, more research is needed to fully understand the role of these vitamins in preventing stone formation. Note that taking too many supplements without a doctor's advice can cause kidney stones and other health complications. Before you start taking supplements for kidney stones, try getting your vitamins from food first. It's hard to overdose on vitamins from food, but it's easier to overdo it with supplements. Also, a healthy, balanced diet contains many other beneficial compounds, including phytonutrients and antioxidants, along with everything a healthy adult needs. Taking these vitamins isn't a guaranteed way to prevent kidney stones. In fact, large studies hardly found any significant benefits or harms from taking vitamin supplements for the kidneys, heart, or overall health. The best ways to prevent kidney stones are to drink lots of fluids to dilute your urine and to avoid substances like oxalates that can form stones. Thanks for watching.